1,600 kilometers off the Kenyan coast are 115 islands that combined make up Sychelles. As many as the islands are, their combined landmass is more than 1,000 times less than that of Kenya. Seychelles is surrounded by 1.4 million square kilometers of water, which presents some challenges in the food security aspect.
Our staple is mainly rice, but we do not produce any rice here in Seychelles. So we have had to adapt. We have had to find ways of ensuring that we are able to have, for 365 days a year, the amount of rice that is needed to feed the population.
As an island country, Seychelles is full of mountains and rocks, meaning that they barely have any land left to grow any agricultural food. And as a result, a lot of the food they eat is imported, including the food you see here at this market. In fact, the only aspect of the food system in this market that is not imported is this fish, which comes from the ocean that surrounds this island. And so important is the fish in the food system that the government is trying to encourage the locals to diversify the kinds of fish that they eat.
We are more and more importing from close countries like Kenya, like South Africa, like Mauritius, countries in the region, countries which are within our reach. So.
Out of the total 459 square kilometers landmass, 30 square kilometers is what is under food production. Out of this, only 2.2% is actually considered arable. The food grown locally, though, mostly comes from kitchen gardens growing fruits and vegetables. The locals, however, say that it is cheaper to buy the imported food, a statement that the government doesn't necessarily agree with.
There are times when the cost of producing locally can be high, but it depends also on the type of crops that is produced locally. There are two main seasons here. We call it the good and the bad season. The good season is for crop production is now.
The land challenges have given this small island nation no choice but to look to the sea to feed its people. As a result, the government has invested heavily in the fisheries sector and has even put up a lab dedicated to developing fish products for both domestic and industrial use. This often involves working with a chef to develop recipes and cook the fish in the lab.
But we also have projects whereby this can be put in the machine which is over there. This is a meat bone separator. And we can further extract flesh which has been left on the backbones, which can then either be used for human foods to make other products or for dog foods.
At the moment, the lab is working on a number of recipes using fish species that are not consumed as much in order to ease the pressure on the favorite species like the red snappers.
Here, for example, once we have a birthday or any event, someone will want to go directly and buy the red snapper. For them, this is prestigious fish, but they don't see the trevally or the dorado as a prestigious fish, even if it tastes as even better than the bourgeois.
When they say the fish is not valued, there's no demand to value the fish locally.
Seychelles has a population of 90,000 people only, 1.1% of who work in the agriculture sector directly, contributing 1.3% to the country's GDP. Fisheries, on the other hand, makes up 13% of the economy, bringing in more than $370 million annually. This, the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture says, helps to balance out the food security needs and take focus away from the land, since there's no land anyway. Zeynab Wandati, NTV, for Food Friday in Mahe, Seychelles.